and not angels. Maybe other versions would say otherwise.
Okay.
But you see, the prevailing culture at the time was that men were sleeping with men, and that was the norm. And so they ignored all the women that were there, like it is also breeding into our society today. So if you see a man and you would ignore a woman, not just an ordinary woman, only you, a virgin for that sake, and you ignore a virgin and still go and chase after a man, then it means that
a problem.
the very circumstance at the time was very serious. And so for Lot, we say two wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah.
But if you look at a sin as very iniquitous as carnal knowledge or unnatural carnal knowledge.
Yes.
Unnatural
very iniquitous.
Unnatural carnal
Papa.
All sins are pardonable. But sin like you having sex with, lesbianism,
very iniquitous.
Papa. I think it's too
okay.
serious. So that was what Lord wanted to prevent.
Maybe 15 seconds.
Okay, so I think you've already answered yourself. The basics that two wrongs don't make a right. Because if you are sacrificing your daughters for them, in the first place, you are not giving them what they want. And even if you were giving them what they want, you shouldn't please the desires of the unrighteous. And so if you want to sacrifice your virgin daughters for them to have their way with them, I don't think it's the best of decisions.
Okay.
I think he could have considered. I think it makes us understand that Lot knew the people that they were not normal people, like they were not normal beings. So you could have consulted them for wisdom or for direction. That this is what the people are pushing me to do. But I know you being from God, what do you do?
Okay, that's it. So it is whatever Lot did was wrong. At the time, whoever comes to you as a guest, you need to protect the person as a guest. So that could be one of the reasons why Lot wanted to offer. Because if they die, for people to know that they came to visit him, and he has allowed people to molest them for them to die, he as a man, his integrity, his whole background has been disdained. But one thing is, you knew they were angels. They told you their mission. People who are capable of destroying the whole city, are they not capable to save themselves from just about 10 or 15 men? But whatever it is, under the context you may look at it, let God guide us and help us. The last thing we will add to their weakness, then we will all discuss the strength of Lot. He was someone that I think it was very difficult for him to.
Please take that part.
I think Saul was someone. Lot was someone that it was difficult for him to heed to instructions and obey. Kakra. Verse 15 of Genesis 14, 15 and 16.
Genesis 14, 15 and 16. He divided his forces against them by night, and attacked them.
Genesis 19, sorry. 19, 14, 15 and 16, sorry.
Okay. Genesis 19, 15 and 16. When the morning dawned, the angels urged Lot to hurry, saying, "Arise, take your wife and your 2 daughters, who are here, lest you be consumed in the punishment of the city." And while he lingered there, the men took hold of his hand, his wife's hand, and the hands of his 2 daughters. And the Lord, being merciful to him, and they brought him out and set him outside the city. So it came to pass. No, that's
okay. So this is the point. I'm going to destroy the city at this time. Makachiro Nyumri, Bwahu, all the people you need to call them, leave before we destroy the city. Adiachi. That's only Nanamo. Brown Yami uncle. I mean, he was just lingering around to the point that I have to hold your hands and drag you out of the city. Now, when you look at the initial statement, when the drift or strife came between Lot and Abraham, because he couldn't submit to be able to say, sir, you let's settle matters, not me offer, take it, you take it, that part is there. Again, there is no mention of whether an asio, one then asio, or no so. Before then, Abraham had even interceded and intervened because of Lot. You the same Lot. Because Abraham was privileged to meet God for them to discuss what God was going to do in Sodom. That was in a Yaba cat was a free her. Young qua so for me, unless otherwise. Now let's look at the strength of. Yeah, when you said the Quran, at least they are also be Anamakani. They are also the please let add one. The Bible makes mention that he was a righteous man, even in the land of Sodom and Gomorrah. So even in the midst of confusion, you can be righteous. It happens there. And when he came, they found themselves in a cave. And he drank. We are in chapter 19. I mean, it's a whole destiny. He drank. The daughters looked at themselves. The only country that we know.
19 verse
10. Okay, Mama Kind. And Lot went up out of Zoar and dwelt in the mountain, and his 2 daughters with him. For he feared to dwell in Zoar, and dwelt in a cave, he and his 2 daughters. And the firstborn said unto the younger, our father is old. There is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all this earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, and we may preserve seed of our father. I'm using NLT in this verse. Come, let get him drunk with wine, and then we will have sex with him, that we may preserve our family line through our father. So that night they got him drunk with wine, and the older daughter went in and had intercourse with her father. He was unaware of laying down or getting up again. The next morning, the older daughter said to the younger sister, I had sex with our father last night. Let's get him drunk with wine again tonight, and you will go in and have sex with him. I'm at verse 34. That we may preserve our family line. So that night they got him drunk with wine again, and the younger daughter went in and had intercourse with him. As before, he was unaware, laying down or getting up again. As a result, both of Lot's daughters became pregnant by their own father. Wow. When the older daughter gave birth to a son, he named him Moab. He became the ancestor of the nation known as the Moabite. When the younger daughter gave birth to a son, he named him Ben-Amin. That is the Amorite. He became the ancestor of the Amorite. This is what happened to Lot. And final conclusion. Do we think that what the daughters did was right? Obviously it's wrong. But do we also think that Lot also didn't know that his daughters were having sex with him? Also, then upon our new that when near son get told no abon, no son getting him drunk again. No son dream. It's all the 2 days in our feelings. And over this is the pinnacle of our discussion. When Bible says that do not be drunk with wine wherein in excess, this is what it means. Yours may not be drink, or yours may not be alcoholic wine. But when you get drunk with pride, you may take certain decisions that later, when you are down, you cannot come close to the people that were with you again. When you get drunk with anger, you may say things that here and now, when you come down, you may not have the opportunity to come to each one of our houses to apologize to us. When you get drunk in sin, you will be forgiven, but the canker and the scars will be there forever. Look at what the people of Moab did. When you come to First Kings, is it not the same Ammon who? Is it not the same Ammon who instigated the son of David to go in and sleep with their sister Michal? Some guy, look at that story. So what you do today, the association you have today, the life you take today, the decision you make today, peradventure, if he had made peace with Abraham for them to stay, he wouldn't have ended himself in this way. When he was going, he had nothing. When he was dying, he had nothing as well. What you have today may not be of much importance as to what you or where you end. When you started but when he was leaving Sodom and Gomorrah, all those things didn't count again. Even to the point that when he was dying, I think he died a very sorrowful man. As a very sorrowful man. How do you call your grandsons? Do you call them sons or you call them grandsons? How do you call your own daughters? Do you call them my wives or you call them my children? In Tiana Sema, which has been named a lot. The lot of Lot. Maybe if anybody has any question, they can ask. If not, we pray and then we close. The same drunkenness that happened to Lot was the same drunkenness that happened to Samson. It went beyond the level they were supposed to have self-control. Because what in Sakrana, it is a one died. Yeah. I mean, you may want to do something to the point Obadi Obas Bran. Yes, for his grace. Let us please bow down our heads and then